What's up, guys? Today we're standing in front of a 96 OBS Powerstroke, which is my brother-in-law's. It's got the 7.3 Powerstroke, and today we're going to be talking about clearing the 315 75 16-inch tires on stock OBS wheels. So here's a quick walk around of the truck. It's an Indiana truck, really clean. I show you guys the rockers and the cab corners, how clean it is. And here's the tires that are on it. They're Mastercraft Courser, 16-inch wheel. Super clean, super clean. How many miles are on it, Tyler?
388,000.
You heard it there, 388,000. Still kicking, still stroking. Shift's good. It's got, what's it got? The 6-position.
Yeah, TS 6-position chip.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's completely stock other than that.
Okay. All right. So it's got the, what is it? TPS 6. What is it? The 6.
TS
6 position chip. Okay. I've had one in a truck, but it's been a while, so I had to.
It just piggybacks on the back of the computer, plugs in and piggybacks off of it.
Yeah, it's one of those chips that just, it's like a plug and play almost off your computer. But today we're going to be talking about, Tyler picked up these tires off the marketplace, and his other ones were like a 265, right?
Stock is 265. What were on them before I put these on were a 285,
okay,
75 16, and we went up to a 315.
Okay,
so
up
we've
to a
had a little bit of
315.
clearance issues going to this tire, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, so today's video is going to be mainly about clearing the 315's on a stock wheel, and these are 315 75 16's. And I was actually with Tyler when we got this truck, and we looked it over real good, and the guy, I mean, everything about it, the guy was pretty honest, and he told us that it was a 4-inch, right?
Yeah, 4-inch reverse shackle, I believe, like a skyjacker. I can't remember.
Yeah, because I can tell by the shocks that is one they use, but it doesn't have the stickers. You can opt out to put those on if you want. I'm not a front end guy. This is a twin traction beam on this, so it's not the solid axle. So this might help some of you guys out when you're looking at clearance issues. This isn't the solid axle truck, so I don't know if that would matter. I'm guessing it will a little bit.
Yeah, I think you get a little more clearance with the solid, with the D50 or D60, whatever comes with the F350.
So yeah, you'd get a little more clearance, solid axle. Tyler took this truck up to the shop, and he actually got these tires off the marketplace. They were like brand spanking new, right?
Yeah.
Did he even drive on them?
She claimed that her son had them, and he never put them on a truck, and
okay,
bought them for $300.
So yeah, they look like full tread. So they were probably just laying around for a couple years. Actually, you can tell right here,
yeah, I think
somewhere.
they're an 18 on the DOT number.
Okay, 18 on the other side. So he got these on a tire shop, and because they let him cut a little bit off the front bumper, which a lot of you guys wouldn't like to do, probably, especially being a stock OEM bumper. But Tyler didn't really care, because this bumper thing's already, push bar's already mounted and bolted in, and
yeah, it's got some rust on it.
It's got some rust right there. So
it's seen better days.
Yeah, it's seen a little better days. So it was just a little bit, you know. So you guys out there don't get too mad at us. But the shop actually pulled Tyler out and said, hey, it's rubbing a little bit. He was, you know, kind of in a bind, like to just have him put the other tires on and go home, or and cut them off, cut the corners off there, and they ended up letting him cut the corners off there and head back home. So the only other thing that you said was an issue was it was rubbing here on the leaf, right?
Yeah, it rubs the leaf spring on a full lock.
So on a full lock, guys, it rubs it right. Show them in here, Tyler. Rubs right there a little bit at full lock. And that's the only other thing other than this little piece he had to cut out. Again, we were looking, and the tire isn't really centered in the truck, so we're not sure if that's a if that was a thing with the non-solid axle, if maybe they sit up a little higher. And I actually, with my old OBS, I remember that the center line was actually a little more forward. Yeah, maybe that's why, and hopefully you guys don't run into that issue if you're trying to put on a 35 or 315. Yeah, I just want to give an update. Me and Tyler were looking around and we noticed that the bumper was sitting a little lower. You can see right here, well, a lot lower. So we think that the guy didn't see that and Tyler didn't see it, and that's why he had to shave a little bit off right there. It fell down or whatever. It looks like it's been hit right here. So he's gonna play with that some probably, and the only thing he'll have to worry about is rubbing on the leaf. So if you have one of these trucks, you see there's a lot of room there. You won't have any issues BS, because the rear is good, and right here there's like a fist room. So if you do have a stock truck, this one supposedly has a 4-inch, but if you don't have a 4-inch, I think the worst you'd have to do is cut this off right here. Tyler's probably going to throw a 1-inch on this truck just to get rid of that rub, which is completely fine. I mean, he's not pulling bobcat trailers and stuff like that, so he shouldn't have anything to worry about. Yeah, the 35 1250 tires, I would recommend doing like an aftermarket wheel, and Tyler could have done an aftermarket wheel with these, and it would have pushed it out like a more of an offset, and he probably wouldn't have that rub. But the spacer is going to do pretty much what an aftermarket wheel would do, and bring that tire out, so you won't have a rub on there anymore. But
yeah, personally, I just like the look of the stock Alcoa rims, so that's why I want to keep it.
That's why Tyler kept them on there. He wanted to keep the truck more original looking and stuff like that. And these fenders, actually, these were the guy, a lot of you guys see these on here, the guy actually, he put these on here. There was a little bit of bubbling, right?
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit of bubbling there. So this is a really clean truck. You would think, you know, coming from Indiana, I've had trucks all rotted out right here, but it's really just a little bit of bubbling. And the guy actually said he put them on here to help seal a little bit, because you can feel back here and it's still solid. But he wanted to seal that up to keep them from rusting. But I don't know, some of you guys might have different opinions on that. Tyler, are you going to keep these on here?
Yeah, I kind of like the look of them, but I do.
So.
Yeah, I do need to get that rust taken care of before it. The worst thing about having those is it hides it until it starts to get past, and then it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really needs to be addressed at some point.
He's probably going to pull these off and take a look at that. But yeah, they didn't affect the tire clearance at all. So this is hopefully helped you guys on whether these 315's will clear. They will clear. If you don't have a solid axle, probably going to have to trim a little bit off here, which it wasn't much. I mean,
yeah, the other option,
he's going to clean this up a little bit because it was kind of just a quick. He said there was a bad.
Well, the other option you have, if you don't want to trim, if you have a pristine OEM bumper that you just do not want to touch, the other option you can do is you can actually shim these bumpers out with washers.
Okay,
and it's really only maybe a ½ inch.
Yeah, that's a good point. I meant to touch on that. Yeah, you can put some washers on the front here. There's
if you take you get up underneath there where it mounts to the frame horns, you can space that out with washers.
Yeah, and on my 99 newer body style, it's only held by 4, so I could have gave you a better view of that. I'm sure you can do the same with them and shim them out. Video on that, shimming those out, and then you wouldn't have to cut it. Do a quick another walk around and let you guys see. I can definitely tell that these springs are a little higher than stock. They might. I personally thought maybe it had one of those add-a-leaf kits on it, and then up here, I don't know what they would have. I don't think they put one on here, but that looks pretty stock to me on the front.
It could be, you know. I that's just what I was told, and I haven't looked into it.
But yeah, you guys, if you guys know just by looking, drop a comment. Hopefully this helped. Leave a like. We're gonna call this a 4-inch lift kit, skyjacker lift kit on 315 75 16s. And I think personally that if it didn't have, let's say it didn't have a lift on it, I think this isn't too far from stock height as far as having issues there right now. And I think if this sit down a little lower, you might have to trim inside here a little bit, like take this whole inch piece off right here, and I think you'd be good to go, because it's definitely got, I think it's definitely got enough room back there. And if you're going to do something like this, look into aftermarket wheels too if you don't want to keep your stock ones, and that'll push them out and keep them from rubbing on that. Let's see here, this side doesn't actually have a mark, does it?
It doesn't rub as bad.
Doesn't rub as bad?
Nope. It's the other, it's right on this side.
Oh yeah, it rubs on the back side instead of the front side. Huh, so that's interesting.
Yeah, turning one way it rubs at full lock real hard, and then the other way it's just barely.
So one way see, it's rubbing on the back on that side, and on this side it's actually rubbing on the front. So that makes me wonder. Yeah, we'll have to look into that, why that might be, instead of it rubbing both on the, you know, one, yeah, the same side versus the other one. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully this helped some of you guys out on if the 315 75 16s will clear on a OBS truck. Again, this one wasn't stock as far as the lift goes, but it gives you an idea of what you'll be getting into. And we're gonna have Tyler fire this up for you and give you a walk around. This is not a cold start.